Yeah, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Satisfactory. Hope you guys have been enjoying the series so far. If you guys have, you guys know what to do. It's not Satisfactory. It's Factorio. I done goofed. Oops. Well, it's Factorio, not Satisfactory, but I still hope you have been enjoying this series so far. Minus my dumb goof. Anyway, so we're on Flagora now, and the progress we've made this week has been setting up what we're going to need for the science and things, as well as starting to set up, I guess we don't have the other one yet, starting to set up the initial recycling, because how it works on Flagora is all your resources come from just about well, really just one place, and that one place is the scrap. There's only scrap on Flagora. There's scrap here, there's scrap here, there's scrap here, there's scrap here. So all the islands more or less have some scrap, as you can see, and then there's some that are just completely empty, which is fine. Now we are on a fairly large island here, and it looks like there's kind of a larger one over here. The thing to note is for quite a while, you don't really have access to getting power over the deep oil. Because from what I found is you can't place it here. You can't build on deep ocean. You can't build on regular ocean. But the rail supports can be placed on this ocean, but not the deep ocean, at least not without research. So we're kind of in this weird limbo until we can get to that point. So to get to that point, what we have here is, so we're mining the scrap. It comes in both sides. It's able to fill one whole blue belt. So it goes through it, scrapanates it, produces the multitude of items that may or may not exist, like the holmium ore, copper wire, gears, stone, more stone, steel. And so all these things get produced, right? And then from there, it goes down into the sorting here. And the reason I have it set up like this is because I found with one inserter, the single inserter just isn't optimal enough to get everything moved. I suppose we could swap to fast inserters. But I think this is fine with the stack inserters. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll experiment with fast inserters. But either way, how it goes is items go in here, they get sorted off to the side. They then go into a chest for availability. Now, this system does technically lose some efficiency because even though this system is designed to sift through, and its main goal is to produce holmium ore, any excess passes all the way through the system and goes back, or any item not picked up too, goes back through the system to then get recycled. Now, the reason it would then get recycled, so if we look down here, there's a 25% chance, or 25% of the time, I should say, not 25% chance. 25% of the time, we're going to get that item back. So we're essentially destroying 75% of the items going back into it, which is fine, because if these chests are full, we want to get rid of those items. Now, the only inefficiency with this, because one thing we have tried is we tried active providers, so it forced this chest inventory. And what we did is we didn't have the belt, we just had it go into a chest. And we had it so that if the active provider was full, get rid of it. We don't want the items anymore. However, what I think I might eventually do, though, is I might change these to active providers. Just so that way, or at the very least, maybe active providers on the items we want indefinite storage of, such as the holmium ore. Because things like the ice, the solid fuel, the concrete, to a lesser extent the steel and the stone, those are things that we don't really use a whole lot of, even here on the planet. I mean, we can burn this and turn it into rocket fuel. The ice we can turn into water, but really, there's only so far we can go with the ice. The concrete we can kind of use, and the stone we can kind of use, but there is excess on this planet regardless, because it is a system that isn't perfectly balanced for you to get everything and be able to use it in a very efficient manner. So, this is just one solution that I have used, because when I was doing the active providers in our multiplayer world, I was finding that, A, we were using like 10,000 robots, and although I did bring 10,000 robots, just in case we were going to do that on this run, it becomes problematic with your storage system long term, because at some point, you're going to have excess items, and you're going to need to cycle them through a machine like this in order to just get rid of it. So, I suppose we will find out. The only thing that I haven't tested, so we need this many recyclers, but I haven't tested if this system will be able to be sufficient to produce the things we need, because if it's also taking in the excess items that need to be scrapped, then those machines aren't always working. So it's give and take. I'm gonna have to figure out the actual math on it to know if this is enough machines, or if we're gonna have to either come up with a different design or instead use different inserters. But I think we can get away with this. We might just have to, instead of dual purposing the recyclers like this, we might have to have separate recyclers somewhere else that will just infinitely process the items that are in excess. But we'll get to that bridge when we get to that bridge. In the meantime, we do want to go ahead and start getting some more items placed. So, we do have some stack inserters. Why don't we have more? We need green circuits. Why are there no green circuits being brought over here? Because none are being shredded. Okay. Well, let me just go ahead and grab a few of these. And then we're gonna just do this. We're gonna take, we'll take blue circuits. We'll just say 1,000. Like that. And then like that. Because this will produce green circuits in plethora. It will also produce red circuits, but that's fine. We can use the red circuits in places. And so essentially we're going to have some downgrades of this. Once we get the quality 3 modules, we'll start looking into getting quality machinery and materials going. But for now, I'm only going to focus on just the production of science. And then just as we are doing in our multiplayer world, at some point, once we have this factory going on this world and producing the 1,000 science per minute that we're going to go for, we'll swap over to back to novice, work on overhauling all the science there to be able to produce 1,000 per minute, because I believe we left it at 100 per minute there. So the bottleneck will become a lot of the base sciences. And oh, these are full chests. Ruh-roh. So we're going to want to make sure that those systems are all able to keep up, so that way we can get the better research for things. And then we'll build out a ton of combat equipment and everything else we're going to need, and then we're going to go to Gleba, the Vietnam, from what I've heard of this game, and have fun. I like biters. I think half this game is tower defense and protecting your factory from biters, but I know a lot of people hate the biters, so some people do play on peaceful, or at the very least play on very low settings for the biters. So if they're there, there's still a reason to make the combat equipment, but not enough to be like, oh my god, my factory is going to get overwhelmed. But I will say I enjoyed playing modded Rampant AI as well as Bob's Enemies. I think is what the mod was. So I'm definitely excited though to see what sort of mods there will be for this game. Anyway, alright, so we have this, and just a brief overview of what's going on here is, so we're going to have 3 trains. We're going to be running 141s into 8x8 throughput unlimited balancers, so that regardless of where it's being pulled from in this 8x8, it will get even distribution, basically. They're going to go down here. Each of these can handle 2 full blue lanes. Eventually, this design will get fully tweaked or probably overhauled once we get green belt fully automated and put down. But in order for that to happen, we need some more space actually here, which, oh, we can actually get a good chunk of space to the north. It looks like there's not too much lava. And over here too. Okay. Well, yeah, our spawn actually has better area than in our multiplayer world. Because I was looking at our multiplayer world last night and trying to do the same thing because we're about at the same point. Our multiplayer world is a little bit further ahead. We just finished automating all the sciences and stuff on Volcanus. However, there is a few things we have left to finish up. Primarily getting things like the foundries automated. I think that's the last thing I haven't automated on that planet yet. But otherwise, our Volcanus in both worlds look pretty much the same. But in order to get Turbo Belt, at least one machine producing it all the time, or like fully, is going to take quite a lot of materials. Like, I think it's 26 or 28,000 gears per minute. It is an insane amount of gears. So we are going to need a very large space to add a ton more, like 4 or 5 times as much smelting. And I think even now we're going to need more than what we currently possess. So that is something we're going to have to look at doing / fixing. I'm thinking we'll probably do something over here or up here for it. And then we'll probably pull lava down. I don't know. We'll figure out kind of what we want to do. Is this guy a medium? Oh, he's a small, so that's a free chunk of land then. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'll figure that out probably this week in between episodes as to how and when and where we're doing all that stuff. But for now, we're going to continue working here on Fulgora to get things done. Okay, perfect. So now we're getting those stack inserters we need. And then we're going to need to get roboports, because I don't think I have any more here. So we're going to have to automate roboports. Which shouldn't be too bad, thankfully. And it looks like speed modules we're going to need either to automate them here or just get more of here. Okay. Yeah, we quickly just dispatched all those. And then I'm thinking for where we're going to tap the mining, because the issue is these islands, so we need to supply power. We can't build power poles across the islands unless they're fairly close. Like this 34 million one, we could probably attach to the grid and then have a train go up over and into the system. So we could maybe get this 34 million? 39 million maybe, because there's enough of a station here. The issue is power. So for instance, we rely heavily on accumulators with lightning rods. Powering the factory here requires quite a substantial amount of accumulators, and it will likely require that on other places. This guy is probably going to be one of the more likely ones that we can get. We could probably put a train station here, a fair bit of accumulators here, and then a good mining setup. Or we might mine like half the island and then cover the other half in accumulators, and once this area is done, flip it. So that's always a scenario we can do as well. Okay. So we need accumulators in order for things to happen. Let's do requester chest, passive provider chest. I need those. And then what else am I missing that I'm gonna need? Okay, we already have accumulators being made. We already have those being made. I'm not sure yet, so we'll hold off, because we are gonna need more accumulators. This guy is happening. Oh, you know what? We probably should just go ahead and get... Where are they? Here. And then... like that. Like that. Like that. Okay. Sweet. And then we don't need a bunch of T1. Well, actually, it doesn't matter because the T1s get turned into the T2s, so I'm okay with having just a chest full of them. Okay, and then do we have any more on the Enterprise? No. We do not. We do have a lot of robots, though, that we can use. But we're not going to need them just yet. Alright, so the goal right now is we want to get this set up so that way we can start getting resources and then we can start using the resources. That's goal number one. Once we have this in place, we'll start building out the rest of the infrastructure to get the electromagnetic science pack, which is going to require us to make supercapacitors, electrolyte, and holmium solution. I will say, one of the first things I want is this mech armor, because we have it in our multiplayer world, and it is incredible. It is honestly such a quality of life thing. I love it. Although I don't fully understand it, because the model for it looks like it has a shotgun. And I haven't figured out how to, use that. So either I'm dumb and can't figure it out, or it's not really a weapon. Either way, if it is, definitely let me know down below, because that'd be awesome. Incredible. Also, if I do sound a little, deathly ill, let me know. It is, starting to become allergy season again. I feel like the pollen has come a little bit early. I've been trying to make sure I mute the mic every time I go to clear my throat, but if I had missed any of them, I am absolutely sorry in advance. Or I guess this would be after the fact, so I'm sorry after the fact. We need... Oh, you know what? Oh, that's right. It's just pulling them immediately. Okay. I guess we'd want them in here first. This is crazy how quickly this thing is able to produce roboports. I don't necessarily want a full chest full. I'll take one line. Okay. We want to make sure we have lightning rods. Pretty much a lightning rod everywhere is fine, because it just adds more to the system as a whole. Alright. And then we'll throw 2 more onto that. That will speed that up a little bit. Excellent. Go ahead and grab these. Also, if there is a more efficient version of this, or just a more efficient way that you guys have done it, definitely let me know down below. I have looked at a few different designs on Reddit for what people have been doing with scrap. One of them I've seen has been this. Another one I've seen is they use circuit conditions, and so they won't feed it back into it. Rather, they'll just have it go in, and then any overage will go back into itself or into another one that's only for scrapping the output, so that way you don't intermix belt like this, because it is taking this as the priority so that the output doesn't ever back up, and it thankfully hasn't ever backed up here in the middle, so these machines are always working. It's just if you want new scrap to be introduced, it can be quite problematic. So we will probably tweak the design, honestly, quite a lot. Because one thing I don't like about the system is when this chest fills up, it goes back through. So like holmium ore, for instance. Pretty rare, something we want a lot of, and we don't really want to stop getting. Any overage goes back through. And it's like, we don't really want to do that. And same thing with all these green circuits. Well, hey, we need green circuits for things. So I would like to expand the system to be able to utilize that side of things. So what I might end up doing is I might take this design, remove the feedback loops we have, but take the overage, or maybe change it out so that the items that we want more of, like the circuits, the homeomore, low density structure, batteries, stuff like that, we put active providers on, forces it into the network, so that way these chests always stay clear, so those items we're always indefinitely storing. And then after the fact, we handle, okay, if we are over by X amount, scrap it, and then store those excess items, because if we're already going to have to scrap it anyway for like green circuits and whatnot, we might as well store it, sort of thing. So, I don't know. I'm going to play around with it and see what ends up being the most effective for it. But in the meantime, I think this is where we're going to go ahead and call it for today. So I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one. Hope you guys learned something. Hope you guys saw something interesting. In particular with our beginning of the Scrapanator. And then I'm hoping that when we get into quality, that will also be a good learning experience, because I did not handle it in our multiplayer campaign. My friend handled it, so I don't know what I'm doing with that. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you guys did, you guys know to smash that like button if you haven't done so already, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one, and as always, peace out.